Hi, welcome to my channel, Needle in the Groove. I'm Joe. This is the third installment of the Vertigo swirls, the international releases. For those who may have watched the first or second part, I'm introducing or presenting you 15 of those that were never released in the UK. And just as a little introduction again, in case you haven't watched the previous installments, the Vertigo swirl label was created by Philips back in 1969, when the music scene was changing. It was becoming more progressive and more out there, a little bit more, let's say, experimental, etc. So they felt that they should put that on a separate label and leave, let's say, the poppy stuff on their Philips label. And it wasn't a new idea. Others have been doing it before them, such as, for example, Harvest by EMI, and also Deram by Decca. But the Vertigo swirl struck a note with collectors. It became the most collectible of labels, and as such it's become very expensive to collect those. But anyway, in this on this occasion I will do the international releases, meaning these were never released in the UK. The UK released 88 in total. Not just the UK, they were also released in other countries, but the UK itself only released 88. But other countries released a lot more. There's probably around 150 worldwide. Some were also released in the UK on the Spaceship label, and some not at all. So foolishly, I started collecting the international ones as well, because I thought, oh, what the hell, you know, a swirl's a swirl. I love those. I mean, I remember when I was a young lad putting a Black Sabbath on and marveling at how it was spinning and how this thing was coming up and down, and I thought, wow. But little did I know that it was going to become so collectible, because I would have bought more. But anyway, let's start. The first one is Magna Carta, Lord of the Ages. This is the third Magna Carta album. This Magna Carta released two of them. Here we go on the swirl in the UK, the first and the second. Not this one. This one was released in the UK, but on the Spaceship label. This particular copy is an Italian 1973 pressing. Not sure we are familiar with Magna Carta, but it's folk rock. It's quite pleasant. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. The next one is, I'm sure you're familiar with them, Nazareth, an excellent rock band from the 70s. This is a greatest hits compilation. Here we go. Nice and clean label. This one's also an Italian pressing from 1975. This can be had for maybe £20 or something like that, so it's not that expensive, and it's available. The next one is the sensational Alex Harvey band, rock band, Scottish I believe. This is a Dutch pressing from 1975. I think this was also released in the UK, but on the Spaceship label. This one's the lovely Swirl. There we go. Nice and clean copy again. So right, here we got a very obscure one. This was only released in Japan. It's Kiyoshi Hasegawa. He strums the guitar. It's a bit folky and a bit so singer-songwriter. I'm not particularly keen on it, to be honest. I bought it because it's a collection at the end of the day. I've listened to it once. Yeah, it's got quite a robust voice, like a, you know, it's not unpleasant, but it's not what I would choose to really listen to. But this is a really, really good copy. It's I have to say the Japanese, you know, their presentation is, you know, this is solid cardboard. It's oozes quality. Here we got Graham Parker, Howling Wind by Graham Parker. Again, you see that, you see these quite often around, but on the spaceship label, not on the famous swirl. That's a lot rarer to find in the UK. But again, this is an Italian pressing from 1976, and that's where I buy them from, in Italy. Okay, you got to pay VAT and stuff like that when you buy them, but what can you do? The next one is Spencer Davis Group, Glugo. I quite like the Spencer Davis Group. I mean, they're an excellent band. I mean, I've got lots of their albums going back to, you know, the beginnings. This is a US 1973 pressing. It's got still the original inner, printed inner. And here we go. So, Glugo, not very expensive either, so this is also available. It's not rare. The next one is Status Quo, On the Level. Now, Status Quo only released one single album on the Vertigo swirl in the UK, which was Pile Driver, but in Italy they carried on being printed on the Vertigo swirl until 1976, before they switched to the Vertigo, to the spaceship label. This is a 1975 Italian pressing. Okay, just so that you believe it, here we go. Again, these are quite accessible price-wise, 20 to 30 euros maybe. Another Nazareth, Expect No Mercy. This is rarer. This is gotta work hard to find this one. This was only released, I say only, I'm not 100% sure, but this is Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong. Those three countries usually get grouped together. 1977, actually. This one on the swirl. There we go. The UK stopped printing the swirl in early 1973. I believe the John Dummos Obla Doubli band was the very last one to be printed, to be pressed. But some other countries carried on before they switched. Italy till 1976. Generally, I think Germany, Holland as well. They also printed some. You also had some in Scandinavia. But in faraway countries like in South America, you know, Chile and Venezuela even, they carried on a bit longer. The Far East, which is just shown the Nazareth, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, until I think 1982. They were still on the Vertigo swirl before they switched. And Israel was also quite late, and India, 1985. That's when it sort of fizzed out, and then they all switched. This is an interesting one by Nucleus, Ian Carr's Nucleus. I think the first three, or maybe even four, I can't remember, were released in the UK on the Vertigo swirl, then they switched. But this one's was released in the UK, of course, but not on the Vertigo swirl. This is an Italian 1973 pressing. Little harder to get. Probably have to pay around £100 for one of those in good condition. Now this one was also very hard to get. This is Dire Straits Alchemy, which is the live double album. This one's again a Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong pressing from 1984. 84, they were still doing Vertigo swirls. Here we go. double album. Yeah, this is quite rare. There's not very many about, and you might have to pay a bit to get one of those. But I got lucky actually. I got this from a German seller. He just happened to have it, and I only paid about 35 or 40 euros. But that was just luck. Another Nazareth, Rampant, 1974, on the swirl, released in Holland in 1974. Right, the Baker Gurwitz army. They did 3 very good albums, actually, 3 very good prog albums in the 70s. And all 3 of those were released on the swirl in other countries, such as in Italy. None of them in the UK. I mean, none of them. They were all released in the UK, but none of them on the Vertigo swirl. Elysian Encounter, Italian pressing from 1975. There we go. Oh, another Kiyoshi Hasegawa, this Japanese guy. This one's got the obi, which is the belt. Obi means belt in Japanese apparently, and it's more for decoration. But I find it. I'm a bit of a sucker for those. I love those obis. But they've got a lot of information on them. Not that I can understand anything, but for example, they've got all of them have got the price on it, and the records. What do you call it? The pressing, the number, the identifier. There we go. And Vertigo swirl, but of course, it's all written in Japanese. If you can see it, there. I can't understand the thing, but it's part of the collection, I guess. So only released in Japan, nowhere else. Right, I've got 2 more. Genesis Abacab. This one again, Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong pressing from 1981, a first press, in near mint condition. Again, I found this in the UK, so I got lucky. You probably wouldn't expect to see a Genesis on the Vertigo swirl, because the Genesis are all on Charisma. But why Malaysia, Hong Kong, Singapore didn't print on Charisma? Maybe you can tell me. I don't know. And there must have been a connection between Charisma and Philips. Maybe they didn't have their own outlet there, or their own branch or printing facility, and they subcontracted it to them. I don't know. But anyway, here we go. This is a near mint. It's absolute. I mean, I'm not sure it's been played. It's so good. So yeah, Genesis. There's a lot more Genesis on the Vertigo swirl. A hell of a lot more, and I think I've shown 1 or 2 others in the previous installments, and I've got more maybe for the next one. I still have more to show you. There will be a 4th, maybe even a 5th later on. And we end on a high note again. Nucleus, Alley Cat by Nucleus, Italian pressing from 1975. It's oh, can I open it quickly? I don't know. Sorry. It's got black inner. Here we go. And the Italian Vertigo pressings, for some reason, they all have a stamp. You might see it there, the red one. They all of them. I don't know why, but they get stamped, little rubber stamp. So again, this is reasonably hard to find, and you probably have to spend about 100 on it if you want one of those in decent condition. And a lot of Nucleus albums came out on the Vertigo swirl, not just in the UK, but you know, probably several others like Under the Sun, and you know, again, I got some more to show you in the next installment. So yeah, let me know what you think, whether you are tempted to collect them, whether you want to start, you know, whether you collect the UK ones. At some point I will show you my Vertigo, my UK Vertigo collection as well, which I've got about 75 out of 88 so far. So but anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and any comments, let me know, and I will get back to you, and thanks for watching.